Guys, Brian back here with another Caspa update. All right, we have hit this new all-time high. There's different ones out here. Okay, this chart here on MEXC says 51,900 as our high. If you go over to CoinGecko, they have it as let's see here, all-time high 51,714. So you have all different kinds. That's why these charts from different exchanges, barely ever match up. But anyway, we got that new all-time high, and we're going to go through this chart here in a second. We have a market cap now. We did hit the 1 billion when we went over 5 cents there. We're right now at this current moment 981,327,677 bucks. So not too shabby, that's for sure. Okay, over on the crypto bubbles, that puts Caspa, that puts us at rank number 42. Okay, so let me make sure that, let's put this on the day. Caspa, yeah, 42nd. We're up one more notch there, 42. Now see, this has a market cap of 993. I believe this is on, I believe they go by, what do they go by on here? KuCoin, MEXC, and what's these other exchanges? KuCoin, MEXC, and Gate.io. Okay, so they have $993 million. So it's different everywhere you go. I think it's the liquidity on the exchange is how it goes by. But anyway, here's for the day out there. A lot of red out there today. All right, so some corrections going on. We're going to go through that Caspa chart here. I have an article, CaptainAltcoin.com. I love it. I love their articles over there. Go over there and check them out. They really get in depth with their articles. They've really got some really great stuff over there. CaptainAltcoin.com. But they have an article over there. It says, is Caspa's meteoric rise sustainable? Users express concerns over volatility. The fast-rising crypto has achieved two major milestones, reaching a price of 5 cents and a $1 billion market cap. The achievement comes on the back of explosive growth in Caspa's hash rate. We went over that yesterday, which measures the computation power of its blockchain network. Within just 1 month, the hash rate surged from 1.4 to 4.05. And we did show that on yesterday's video. We went over that hash rate. We showed that that huge rise there. Pretty crazy. The rise in hash rate has spurred mixed reactions from the community. Some see it as a sign of accelerating adoption that bodes well for future gains. However, others note that the rapid hash rate growth has negatively impacted individual miners' profits, as well as rewards per block have decreased. We also went over that yesterday with the miners, saying more that come online. The profitability is going to go down. Users on forums expressed excitement about Caspa hitting the 5 cent mark and a $1 billion market cap, with many anticipating further price increase due to Caspa's technological advantages like its Ghost Egg protocol and blocked egg structure. However, some comments emphasized price volatility and the challenges of sustaining growth. Caspa, which fair launched in 2019 without pre-mining, is a proof-of-work crypto created by Yonatan Sompolinsky, a Harvard postdoc researcher. It currently has a circulating supply of 19.18 billion coins, which, if we go over to CoinGecko, the circulating supply is 20 billion. 0.04, so it's a little different there too. And a max supply of 28.7. All right, 28.7, that matches up perfectly. At the time of writing, the price is 0.049, up over 3% last 24 hours, and nearly 35% the past week, according to data sources. With a market cap of 981 million, Caspa now joins the ranks of billion-dollar cryptos. Congratulations once again, everybody. If you hold this coin, congratulations. While further gains are possible, given Caspa's innovative technology and growing community, its meteoric rise in recent days may not be sustainable in the long run. The crypto will need to navigating issues like dealing with diminished returns for miners and stabilizing its price volatility. All right, so we're going to go over that chart here in a second. I'm going to show you some stuff here. It's going to make some sense. Okay, so first off, all right, I put this chart up here. We have this new all-time high and the previous all-time high. Okay, we have this trend line that we've been following up here with higher highs and higher lows. You know, we start there, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. We have this higher high, and wherever this higher low comes in, okay, we're gonna take a look here and see what could possibly be going on here, right? After this was miserable to go through. You know, I started covering this coin somewhere in this drop here. That was pretty miserable to go through. That ended up being what was that, pull down? Wow, you know, it was a 71% pull down there that we went through, but it was a 5-wave down. It was a bigger ABC. We went over that a bunch of times. We measured this out. You know, you had your A, your B, then pull this down on top of that, and it's perfect. The C right on the bottom. You see how that lines up perfectly. Right here. Okay, put your Fibonacci on top to your bottom of your move. It came up to that 618. We moved that down on top of there, and that's how we found our bottom coming in right there at ABC. All right, and then the members section, I have a level 3. I'm gonna lower the price of that actually, but I'm teaching, putting you know, videos on there to learn how to do this stuff. You know, how to draw trend lines, use Fibonacci's, everything I know on there, and I don't know it all. I'm not even, you know, I'm a semi-pro. Been doing charting a little over 4 years now, so everything I know I'm putting on there. If you're interested, go over there and check it out. A regular membership just to support the channel is 99 cents a month. That would be greatly appreciated. You know, if that's something you can do, that's fantastic. If not, a like and subscribe, and just watching the video helps me out a ton, guys. So I appreciate everything you guys do for me. All right, so we're going to dig a little bit deeper into this chart here in 2 seconds. I'm going to show you obviously what's going on with the rest of the market here, because that impacts everything. All right, so let's get over to Caspa. I have a whole thing set up just for this. All right, the Bitcoin dominance. Let's see if we're getting any kind. We are getting a little bit of a bounce in that. All right, if we zoom in here on the daily. All right, this thing is giving it a little bit of a bounce here. Okay, you can see, you know, that resistance line. We put it on the 4-hour. You're gonna see how this thing works. Okay, and that's almost gonna line up with that 702 if it gets up there. Had a pretty decent bounce today, up 0.29%. All right, not too bad. That's the biggest bounce it's had in a while here. Now if we zoom out on here and put that fib on here, all right, our 702 is right up there. We're almost at that 618. Okay, put the 4-hour back on here. You're gonna see when this thing gets up here. Okay, no, I'm pretty sure this is going to happen. All right, when it gets up here and hits this resistance, you're going to see this thing roll over. All right, you're going to see how these trend lines work. Sometimes they break through them and keep going. That's a sign of you know, of a strong chart or whatever. But we got, all right, let's see, look at these RSIs. We've been over this. Let's first off, let's get this off here. All right, we got that daily up at the top here. All right, it's the 92 and 93. It flipped bearish. The weekly's almost reset right there. It's in fact, it is bullish now. But the monthly, there you go, 92 and 94. It's bearish. So you got a mix there. Okay, you got the weekly bullish, you got the monthly bearish, and the daily bearish. All right, you got the 12-hour riding way at the top here. It's still bullish. It flipped back up at 86 and an 80, but it's been at the top since what? July 31st. You know, it's been riding up there for the past week. It's right on top here. Okay, the 8-hour What do we got here? The 8 hours turning back up. All right, so this thing's showing signs of strength today. Maybe it'll get up to that 702. This trend line, could reach out to here. We want this thing right where perfect here. Okay, let me put it back on a 4 hour. That's where I can line it up good. Yeah, that's good right there. I'm gonna lock it and leave it right where it's at. Okay, this thing is pushing up pretty decent today. It just hit 0.30 there a second ago, right? Bitcoin itself is up a whole $12.83 today. All right, here we go again with this thing. Okay, this trend line actually came down through here. You can see it did get a bounce off that trend line. See how it bounced right off of it here. Now we got the 4 hour heading up. Let's get this blind off there. All right, let's see here. All right, we got the 4 hour heading up. We got the 8 hour turning up, and we got the 12 hour trying to turn up. Yeah, it is turning up. It is bullish now. Okay, that daily's reset right down at the bottom there, 1.27 and 3.91. In a couple hours, that thing will be totally reset. We got a nice big green candle here, sucking up all that. Had some buyers step in there. You can see down here, right down at 28,660. Had some buyers step in and brought that price right back up here. That's a lower low here on the daily. I don't like seeing that. Okay, you can see right here how these line up. Had this low, a lower low, and another lower low on the daily here. So I don't like seeing that come down there. Obviously, wonder if we had like a wedge in here. Let me see here. Put that back on a 4 hour here so I can get a better look here. Just see if anything lines up as far as a wedge pattern or almost kind of, if you tweak it around in there a little bit, but not quite. I wouldn't call that a wedge. Just I don't know. I wouldn't call it a wedge. We have a resistance line here we got to break out from. We'll see if we get the bounce, right? The daily's reset. The weekly's turning down. It's at a 47 and a 56. The monthly should still be bullish. It is a 92 and an 87. So we're obviously just waiting, as usual, for this thing to do something, okay? The rest of the market will wake up when Bitcoin does. When we get some volatility coming in, we did have some coming in here today on the daily. On TradingView here, 7.45 thousand Bitcoin right here. That's the most we've had in in about a week here. So not too bad. That's what we need. We need volatility coming in here. We need a big spike in volume to get this thing really going. All right, so we go down through that Dixie. Let's take a look at that. It's at 102. Yeah, it got rejected. See how them trend lines work? What I was just talking about with, back there, how these trend lines work with the Bitcoin dominance. I was showing, when that price got up here. When it got up here, you see how it got rejected right off this trend line so far, and it's starting to roll over. All right, now we got the daily coming down. Looks like that might be a high for this thing. Where did it hit? Let's check out the fib levels on this thing. Where did it hit as far as a Fibonacci? Alright, if we take it from here, I think it ended up poking up through 786 there, so not too bad. But it is definitely getting rejected. That daily's heading down. The weekly's coming up, and the monthly is right at the bottom there. Still bearish, but right at the bottom. So that Dixie, I don't know, like another mixed bag here. Monthly at the bottom. That daily's going to have to reset though. Okay, so we have gotten a rejection so far in this thing. For this thing to go any higher, it would have to break this resistance at what is it, 102.8 roughly, and that's You got your sloping resistance here. You got your rising support line here that turned into double resistance here for this thing. So it would have to bust through that to continue any higher. Okay, this candle here on the daily is just about ready to turn red on this thing. So looks like it could be breaking down here. Okay, hopefully I'd like to see it come down lower than this 1014, and hopefully we don't have a let's see here, 1 2 3 4 5 wave coming in here. Okay, so I'd like to see it break below that 101.39 area right through here. Okay, to invalidate any 5 wave up here. All right, it's starting to look like that almost, especially if that daily pull. Let's put the, you see here, 618 pullback. 618 pullback would put it down here. All right, just below that. So we'll have to see what happens with that Dixie. All right, it could get a bounce here in the future. All right, but right now that daily is pulling it back down. All right, the total market caps. We got the total market cap down 3.7 billion. And the one without Bitcoin, we're down 3.4 billion. All right, now Caspa is what we're here to look at. Let's take a look at these charts. Okay, first off, yesterday, if you watched yesterday's video, you know I talked about an ABC coming in. All right, I drew this blue line. We ended up going a hair below it. Okay, but we did get, you know, our A, our B, and our C. Okay, we did get an ABC come in, so that came in, and after that I said expect a bounce up. If you go back and watch that video, that's exactly what I said. Alright, so we are getting a bounce up here. Now if I go over to this other chart, I want to show you guys something here. Okay, now if you know how to draw trend lines and stuff like that, you would have a trend line here on this hourly. Okay, you can see it fell through that trend line, just like we went over with Bitcoin dominance and everything else. Okay, we have the 1 hour coming up. The 4 hours at the bottom just about reset. Boy, look at that candle. Look how that thing got sucked right up there. Wow, that is pretty impressive. Okay, we got the 8 hour at the top coming down, and we got the 12 hour also at the top coming down. Now the daily. All right, we go over here to the daily. All right, I'm going to show you guys something. First off, I want to close this RSI out here and pull this one up. Okay, now I'm always honest with you guys what I see, and I just give it to you the way I see it. Alright, you can see here, we move this price action up. Okay, right here, this high here, this one here, was right here. Okay, on the RSI. Alright, now if we go up this high here, and I'm not treating anybody like they're dumb at all. I'm just acting like you don't know how to read the RSIs. That's why I'm doing it like this, guys. I'm not no disrespect to anybody, not at all. Okay, so just stay with me here, please. Is this high here? Okay, now if you see something here, we have a lower high. We had this high here and a higher high in price. We had this high here and a lower high on the RSI. That's showing weakness. Alright, that makes me think we might have tapped out here, possibly. We might be in for a little bit of a bigger correction. Okay, now how big of a correction would would this be? Alright, let's look in here and take a look here. Alright, let's get this stuff off here first. You know, I'm not being a negative Nancy here. I'm just being honest what I see. Okay, if the RSI, if you have bearish divergence on the RSI, it's a sign of weakness. Okay, that's you know, at some point you have to have a correction. That's just how the market goes. Now, if this thing bounces down and bounces up and creates a higher high than over here, then that would have been great. Okay, that would have showed strength if we would have had a higher high here than over here, but we don't. Okay, just like if you go down through, oops, I'm sorry. Let me show you here real quick, okay? You had this high here on the RSI, then you had a higher high in price, a higher high on the RSI. That's how it should go, okay? But showing a little bit of weakness here. We had our ABC come in, all right? We got the 12-hour. Even here, right at the top here, it's bearish. It's at a 70 and a 79. Let me pull up the other RSI here, guys. Get this off here real quick. Bear with me 1 second so I can reset my settings. There we go. All done. Okay. All right, so we got the 12-hour coming down. All right. We got the 8-hour also coming down. It's at a 73 and an 82. The bottom, the regular RSI, it's still just barely bullish, a 69 and a 68. The 4, okay, is almost at the bottom, but look how high it is on here. It's still at a 60. All right, for that 4, you would like to see it, come down, to give you room to run up here. Okay, so I don't think it's going to have a whole lot of push on that 4. The 1 has come down a lot and corrected. It's bullish right now, which makes me think it's going to give a run right up here, right up to this resistance line, and get a rollover from there. That's my opinion. Like I said, I'm not being negative at all. At some point, we have to have a correction. Okay, we had the correction here. All right, we had that ABC came in. We nailed that. Okay, and we nailed a retrace back up here, a price increase. Okay, from the bottom. Let's see what we had here. First of all, let's remove that. And so far from the bottom, this bounce has been 8%, and by the time it gets up here, it's going to be an 11% bounce. Okay, after an ABC, you usually do get a bounce. All right, now unless it breaks through on this chart right here, okay, at 0.05105, I'm expecting a rejection here. All right, now where could this go to? Let's look at this. Let's zoom out here and get this whole chart on here. All right, now normally, like I've showed before, your Elliott waves, you have your 5 waves up, okay, and then you have a bigger ABC correction. All right, we had a smaller ABC correction yesterday just to let that the 4 and 1 hour recorrect and come down. All right, but it's going to be a bigger ABC come in here. How big? We're going to take a look here. All right, normally you would get a 618 pullback. Okay, now look where that lines up. All right, now this is good news. Okay, there really is. If you're going to get a correction, you couldn't have a 618 in a better spot. Where does that 618 fall? Right on our previous all-time high. All right, that's the golden pocket. That's where more than likely you're going to get a bounce from a coin. If you're tracking a coin and you're looking for a good spot to get in for a long position, as long as your support lines up, your RSI, as long as your RSI, like our RSI here, by the time this gets down there, if that RSI is back down here, okay, by the time, let me get this up here, I apologize, get a little bit more room here. By the time our price retracts down here, that more than likely that bounce is coming at that 618, and that's where we're starting back up again. Okay, let me get that off there. All right, but the 702 is a good spot for a bounce. Anywhere from the 618 to the 702. 786 is the last line in the sand. Okay, if you break through the 786, it's coming down further. Okay, that's a sign of weakness in a coin. All right, this thing has been in an uptrend, so that's what you're figuring on going with here. Okay, it's showing strength right now in the market. It's had buyers coming in. It's the talk of the town, if you want to say it right now. Okay, so in the bigger time, I would expect a bigger A, a B, and a C down to this previous all-time high. That's what I would expect working out here, and this could take 3 or 4 days to work out. You can see how high the daily is down here on the regular RSI. You want this thing to cool off and come back down, to lower areas, so that the next run that we get here, okay, that would bring this price down here. The next run we can get another decent run out of here, okay. Now that, let's take a look here. Our weekly is the other one here that's getting pretty high, okay. So, and also, unfortunately, if you look here, okay, we had this high here on the RSI, and look over here, we have a lower high. Alright, so there you go, bearish divergence there also. Alright, so I'm expecting like I said, a bigger correction in this thing, possibly down to 0.0427. If that is not the area, then around the 702 I would expect, especially on a weekly here. Let me show you guys. Let me get that off there. This area through here, okay, looks like a solid bounce area to me, okay. That 702 to the 786, you can see how massive support area through here, okay. If we make that a 4, because this whole area through here, then I'm also going to put another one right there, because that whole area is a massive support area for this thing. If you look at it, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks where the price action ended up in there, okay. So anywhere from the previous all-time high at that 0.0427, the whole way down to possibly 4 cents, okay. This thing could pull back too, so we'll track it as it goes, guys, like we always do. But right now, as far as I see it, I would expect it to come down to the 618 here, right here, okay, at that previous all-time high, and use that as support, and then we'll retake a look at it there, okay. I wouldn't expect it to lose this trend, so actually I'm kind of overdoing myself a little bit here. I didn't mean to actually make it look like it's losing trend here, okay. Me myself, I would expect it to stay in this trend line. That's an ugly ABC. Hold on a second, let's put it on the daily. Give me a little bit more room here to work with, okay. There we go. That would be a lot more easier to have an A, a B, and a C there, and keep our trend line, and have this thing keep chugging up, alright. So we'll keep an eye on it, guys, but that weekly has to cool off a little bit, alright. Doesn't mean it has to come the whole way down at all, okay. Just flipped bearish at a 91 and 92, and we have bearish divergence here, so I'm expecting a pullback. Nothing major. We have to have pullbacks. That's just the way it goes. You have to have them. You have to build stairs coming up. You have to build support through the charts, and the more support areas you build, the better. So nothing major. Buying opportunity possibly coming up. Not financial advice, guys. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do not go taking out a house loan or something, or risking your entire retirement on something that somebody says on YouTube, especially me, okay. Please don't ever even consider that. Consult a professional. It's hard-earned money, but I see a pullback coming through here, and a buying opportunity for me, absolutely. That's what I see happening in the market, so we'll see if it happens. Alright, guys, so thank you so very much, guys. I love the support. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great day, everybody.